Hi, I am Professor Veit. I am one of the instructors teaching 550 this summer. There are six of us teaching it. So there are four sections of online and two sections of face-to-face. And we're all excited that the semester has started. So um, given we have a team and we're taking a team approach, you may see a few different PowerPoints or presentations given by one of us, just so that we can share the load and collaborate as done in social work. So I'm kicking off the semester with Unit 1, which includes strengths-based perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the lecture and we'll go from there. All righty, here we go. Um, So, strengths-based perspective or theory, which probably you all have heard about during your time in undergrad. So, just taking it a step further as you maybe start to see more patients, clients, or students in the graduate school process, just to increase those clinical skills. Or if you are macro, maybe you are working on a team or on a committee. So, I like to think that a lot of this can be applied across micro and macro, because we are humans. And so whether or not we are in a clinical setting or in, let's say maybe a nonprofit serving on a team or a committee, we're working with other humans. And so sometimes it's kind of like group therapy when we're working on these teams. So we're working one-on-one on a project. All right, without further ado, here we go. So, we know that strengths-based theory and social work practice specifically is an approach that focuses on identifying and leveraging the strengths, resources, and capabilities of individuals, families, and communities to promote empowerment, resilience, and positive change. Instead of, focusing solely on the deficits or problems or pathologies, this approach, strengths-based practice, acknowledges and builds upon inherent strengths and assets that individuals already possess. So you already have this strength. Let's put it to work. How can we apply this to this situation, this decision, this collaboration? So, some key principles in strengths-based theory: empowerment, collaboration, adding a holistic perspective, solution-focused, resilience, and cultural competence, just to name some of those principles. Empowerment. So, this is the power cell. This is at the core of strengths-based practice. So it involves acknowledging the inherent worth and dignity of individuals and empowering them to take control of their lives. Um, we work constantly in lots of different capacities to facilitate empowerment by helping individuals, clients, students, teammates, group members recognize and build upon their strengths, skills, and resources. This may involve reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Now, as we know, when someone is going through something, and we were to say, might we reframe these challenges or as opportunities for self-growth and self-discovery? Um, this might not be, who knows? It could land flat just because if somebody is in a place where they can't hear that things could change or might change given the strength that they possess, maybe we use different language. This is challenging right now, the situation. How do you see yourself growing through all of this? Uh, you know, uh, these different situations, is there any opportunity where a strength or a resource that you have could rise up? family, community, neighbors, teammates, coworkers, etc. Empowerment also entails fostering a sense of efficacy. I do this every time. And confidence in individuals, clients, students, teammates, etc., encouraging them to advocate for themselves and make informed decision about their lives. Again, that advocacy piece. Whether we are working on a lobbyist, working for a lobbyist team, and we bring that social work perspective and we say, hey, let's work on this bill or this plan because it's going to benefit this community, this group of individuals. And oftentimes we are empowering a community by doing a needs assessment. What resources do you have in this community, neighborhood, school district that we can use to advocate for decisions, to increase overall success, what have you. Collaboration. So you hear this word a lot. It's essential in the strengths-based practice as it involves forming a partnership between the social worker and the client, individual, whomever, based on mutual respect, trust, and shared goals. So a lot of times when we're working with individuals, that rapport, we're working from the moment we enter the room with a client, or we are in a hospital setting and we are going in to see a patient, or we are working in the school setting and we're seeing a kid that's going through a lot. We're trying to hit the ground with establishing rapport because we want this individual to know that we can collaborate. We can form some sort of partnership in order to find, hopefully, a solution or some outcome that they desire or works in their favor. We engage in active listening and a true, authentic, genuine curiosity to understand our clients, students, patients, teammates, perspectives, experiences, and aspirations. Social workers collaborate with clients to co-create solutions that are congruent with their values and preferences. So I think we always have to keep at the forefront, of our goal. What is your value? What is your preference? What do you want? And I've really had to sometimes check my value systems at the door along the way in order to collaborate with a client. And I'm like, well, surely you would want to do X, Y, or Z. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe it's not possible. Maybe at that moment it's just not feasible or affordable. And so it's really taking what we could potentially impose upon an individual's value system and pull back and see what that individual brings to the situation or brings to the session or the hospital room, let's say, if you're working as a hospital social worker. Oftentimes it's going to extend beyond the individual level to include collaboration with families and communities and other stakeholders in the individual's support network. So here we have the situation, and we've got to lean on the community. You're working with a child, a third grader, and you see that they are really falling behind in school. They are tired, they can't focus. Learning is challenging right now due to the lack of focus and being tired. How would you collaborate with their school community to support them? Would you ask for extra resources in the classroom? Would you go as far to say, could this child need psychoeducational testing? Could you provide them with a local resource in their community or county that would be free testing? I live in Nashville, and the Metro School Department offers free psychoeducational testing for students. So we know that can be expensive. It could be a resource to a lot of individuals should. You collaborate with the parent, caregiver, teachers, etc. But just seeing that, okay, second grader, third grader probably can't maybe make sense of what's truly going on or what they need. Let's see if we can't collaborate with other individuals or systems to get them what they need, and hopefully desire. The holistic perspective adopts a holistic view of individuals, recognizing that they are influenced by multiple interconnected factors, including their environment, relationships, culture, and their overall identity. So, how do we take it all in? How do we do an assessment, a holistic perspective? Um, we have to consider the various dimensions of clients' lives: physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and cultural aspects to gain a comprehensive understanding of their strengths and needs. Some agencies or school-based programs have their own comprehensive needs assessment. Let's look at all of it. Really, what do you need in order to make this situation workable within the system that we have? We have to take in all the considerations. By taking a holistic perspective, social workers can tailor interventions that address the complex and dynamic nature of the client's lives, promoting well-being and resilience across multiple domains or multiple systems. Resilience. Hear this a lot. What is resilience? We have examples. We have not all different definitions, but it could be defined several different ways. The capacity to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity, trauma, and stress. Strengths-based practice focuses on identifying and enhancing clients' resilient factors to support their ability to overcome challenges. So, look what you've done so far. Look how you've made it. How did you make it? How did you survive without X, Y, or Z? How did you adapt to the situation? Yes, we are trying to get this resource or such and such put into place, or your family to come in for, a family meeting, family therapy session. What did your family do before that might have been some sort of resilience planning or practice? So social workers identify their existing strengths, coping mechanisms, and support systems that contribute to their resilience. They also facilitate the development of new skills and strategies to hopefully enhance resilience. By emphasizing resilience, strengths-based practice instills hope and optimism in clients, empowering them to navigate life's challenges with confidence and determination. What makes you resilient? Have you ever thought about what makes you resilient? Have you ever been in a situation, gone through something that inevitably was an opportunity for growth? You used the resources that you had. Have you ever thrived in the face of adversity, or have you ever witnessed anybody else? I think that in social work, one of the I don't want to say coolest, I think along the way, having done this for 15 years, been a clinician, a community clinician, is watching individuals truly rise. And you can't measure what that looks like. And sometimes people downplay. I know people go through worse. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we can't ever identify with X, Y, or Z, but you in this situation, I've seen you thrive. I've witnessed you helping your family members. I've witnessed you accepting help from community members when you didn't otherwise want any help or support. Cultural competence, cultural curiosity. Are we ever truly culturally competent? I don't think we are. I think when we think we have arrived, I don't think we give up. I don't think that's it. I think that maybe our curiosity isn't as high. So I think that when it comes to being culturally competent, that curiosity to learn more, grow, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. This is essential in strengths-based practice to ensure that interventions are respectful, relevant, and responsive to the diverse strengths, values, and needs of clients from different cultural, ethnic, spiritual, religious, what have you, backgrounds. So, how do we help you? How do I learn more about your family system in order to support you with X, Y, or Z? We actively seek to understand clients' cultural identities, beliefs, and practices, recognizing the impact of culture on their experiences and perspectives. Cultural competence involves engaging in ongoing, again, continued curiosity, self-reflection, education, and dialogue to challenge your own biases, the stereotypes you have, and assumptions, and to promote cultural humility and sensitivity in practice. I think we would all love to say, no, I don't have any bias. No, no, I don't have any stereotypes. We do. And it's okay, right? It's okay to admit, yeah, I've, I've got to check my bias. It's what you do with it. How will you check that bias? Will you seek consultation? Will you take a training to learn more about that cultural group? What will you do to grow? For lack of better words, how will you grow? What will you read? Um, I were a long time ago, I guess about 14 years ago, I was working with a family. They were referred from a pediatrician, 15-year-old female, that was not diagnosed with depression, but pretty depressed. The family identified as Indian. They were from Bali, India, and they had been in the United States at that point, I think, since the daughter was 1 years old. And they maintained friendships, communities with other families in the Nashville area. And I knew nothing about their culture, nothing. I learned a lot, but really had to lean into, I don't know anything and that's okay, teach me. And one thing, that I learned, and this is like, a lot of other families, cultures, religions, is that um, they don't get depressed. They don't get down. Okay, this is not something in this particular family, and they attribute it to just overall culture. Maybe a sign of weakness. We can rise up. We can work harder. And during the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks, just watching the daughter deteriorate to the point of feeling suicidal, passive suicidality. Um, I was able to meet the father requested to meet with me one-on-one because he was really pushing back on any type of treatment. He just wanted to come to have his daughter come to counseling 3 times, get some coping mechanisms, and move on. We could not in 3 weeks really work on alleviating those symptoms, and so got to meet with him and just you know how what do I need to do to grow? How do I better understand this system that we are sharing in this experience with your daughter who is declining? And after good a good hour or so of dialogue of just fear, fear for his daughter, first and foremost, what's going to happen. Very fearful of what can be done if this is not something he or his wife or his parents or his siblings had ever dealt with. What would this look like? What would people say? What would he tell people about her going to counseling and knowing that their family, their spiritual community was not enough? So it was just, again, leaning in. What do I need to know? And sometimes I stop with just what do I need to know about your family system, community, in order to support you? Because again, I think we can go into what do I need to know about your culture, race, religion, ethnicity to help you? And, you know, depending on the individual, that could go one or two ways. But it's like, oh, you're assuming that my culture, race, religion, ethnicity is what guides me, right? Oftentimes, yes, maybe sometimes, oftentimes, who knows? No. So how can I learn more about your community, your family system, the resources you have, etc. Solution focused. Okay, I really like this. I would say modality. There's CBT, there's DBT, there's um, person-centered approach there, and then solution focus. So in this case, it's emphasizing identifying and building upon clients' strengths and resources to achieve their desired outcome. So recognizing and building upon what this looks like, what they have to lean on. Again, may involve, going back to the second slide, reframing challenges as opportunities for self-growth. So solution focus, one perspective is, or the second perspective is really looking at the here and now. What do we have right now going on that could benefit X, Y, or Z, could help us meet our goal? Are there any potential solutions? What is an outcome or a solution that you desire? I desire to help my child with their anxiety. That would be the solution. I would want, the solution would be that they would be less anxious. Okay, that's our goal. That's our solution. That's where we're headed. Not necessarily working backwards, but working forward. So if the solution is, G down the alphabet line, we've got to fill in all the different, what plan can we put in place? So I don't use it always. I have found that I'm actually kind of use an integrative approach when it comes to modalities. So I use EMDR when appropriate. It does have a solution focused solution focus is part of it, part of EMDR indirectly. But I do like when I know what a working goal is. I don't always need a working goal. I don't always need to know where are we headed, what are we doing, what would you like? Because working in the here and now, oftentimes we just identify right now, today, I'm feeling X, Y, or Z, or I need, or my community, or a resource that I have or that I could use is where I would like to start. So in conclusion, by embracing these key principles, we as social workers can effectively apply strengths-based theory and practice, promoting empowerment, resilience, and positive change in the lives of individuals, families, and communities. Recommendation 1. Okay. Consider past or present ways that you utilize a strengths-based perspective in your professional life. What did it look like? What does it look like? That, again, looking back at internships, former jobs, maybe even not social work related, just in general. Recommendation number 2, consider past and present ways that you utilize a strengths-based perspective in your personal life. What did it look like? In your personal life, friends, family, partners, spouses, as a parent, as a child, what are you doing in your personal life that utilizes a strengths-based perspective? Sometimes I like to really challenge what am I doing? Okay, I'm talking about a strengths-based perspective, but how am I putting it to practice? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I can do? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. All right, so that concludes that strengths-based perspective. So this is a briefer lecture than the ones that we have, but all the content in the different lectures in that first unit, it's all great. So I hope you are enjoying whatever part of the summer semester you are in. And I look forward to learning from you, also you learning from my colleagues, learning, collaboratively all together. That's using our resources. So ba-da-ba, kind of pulling it all together there. So it was great being with you today, and I hope you have a good one.